Hello everyone, Alzion the Great here. Welcome back, not only to my channel, but to League of Legends Manager on MOBA GM. It's been rough for me these past couple weeks, which is why I have not been uploading. But we are back with SI Gaming, coming off an okay season. It was not terrible. Certainly, the regular season was 12-5. We lost the last 4 games of the season, which is unfortunate in the playoffs. However, if I can get there, we did take down Excalibur in the quarterfinals before losing to the eventual champions, Primal Gaming, in the semis. We did take the 3rd place match. Last year's team is actually really similar to this year's team. The only difference is we do not have a split at support between Falsoy and Arkin, and we also don't have IrelevusQ. Pharik has taken over for IrelevusQ, the rookie from the US, obviously 90 overall. And if you look, I know, I honestly, it's been a while since I jumped on. Crimson Moon has picked up IrelevusQ and Arkin, so we shall see them later in the season. If we take a look at the champions, Primal Gaming, you know, last season they added a couple new pieces in Volt and Oxide. They had Skydo, who was one of the better rookies for the last couple classes. They also had our former mid laner Currycat and support Mojo. This season it's much the same. Just Currycat retired, and we have Beyonder in the mid lane coming over from Silver Dragons. So that is what we're going to have to deal with if we want to claim the title. There's also other teams in the power rankings. Quantum is pretty good. You know, the same thing with Atlas and Mehmet. There's also, you know, new AD carry and Devandra. Paladin Esports is Paladin Esports. They're always going to be good. So I'm excited to see what we can do this season, because you know, it actually feels like, hey, you can win. Now it's not like that for a couple seasons, I know, but the difference is in this game, I've realized more often than not, rookies that are really highly rated can get wins. I'm really excited to see what Pharik can do. I think he's gonna win MVP, maybe, but I think we can definitely win the title this season. So go ahead and look at our schedule. It was Crimson Moon, right? Yeah. So when do we face Crimson Moon? We face him in the 3rd match. So why don't we sim to that 3rd match and see how it goes. So we come out of the first 3 games 2-1 with Primal undefeated right now. Very spooky. We actually faced Primal to start the season, the defending champions, in Pharik's debut. It didn't go great. Oxide and Beyonder, Skydo, pretty much everyone but Volt did exceptionally well. Even then, 3-2-14 is not terrible. In our first win against Crystal, however, against Kepler, yeah, Blue Penguin still got it. He did really good. And in the anticipated match with Crimson Moon and IrelevusQ's first game against SIG, 4-3-3. Pharik 6-3-9 as Ezreal. Falsoy had a great performance as well. And Blue Penguin, I think, is still the best, one of the best mids in the league. So, yeah, we're doing pretty hot, especially Blue Penguin. Let's go see what other game would be important. I guess we have this Paladin game, so let's go ahead and sim 5 more and see where we end up. SI Gaming sits in 2nd place at 6-2 after beating a previously 5-2 Paladin. If you check the game log here. After we faced Crimson Moon, we utterly crushed the Aether Wolves with Tarun absolutely going off on Camille. Holy cow. Against Silver Dragons, yeah, just another really good game. Just looking hot. Unfortunately, we ended up losing to the 207 Shock, as Badsa proved why he's the best top laner in the league at 10-1-6. Just absolutely crushing it. We did rebound, though, with a win against Excalibur, in where Blue Penguin went 8-1-6 and absolutely dominated. And then against Paladin in the big match, Pharik showed up on this Fortune 6-1-4 and did really good. One thing I'm noticing about this season is Tarun is actually not really getting a whole bunch of kills. I don't know if it's normal. Well, I guess he has the most kills he's ever had in his career, but it just feels like he's getting a lot more assists, a lot like he did in 2028, and his KDA is much higher now. So whenever we seem to have Tarun as the assistive or supportive jungler, his KDA skyrockets. And Pharik is doing really well, 6.2 KDA right now, but I'd like to think that Blue Penguin is more the carry and Pharik is just benefiting from it. His Primal Gaming's still on top. Let's see, another good Mark II hit. We can get the rematch against Paladin. I think we'll do that. So we'll send there and I'll see you then. So actually, I simmed 5 games, and then I noticed something. Paladin and Crimson Moon not only are really close to us, but you face them right after another. So let's go ahead and recap these 5 games, and I want to go through these Paladin and Crimson Moon games individually. We extended our winning streak first by beating Excalibur, as Tarun this time went off, and Pharik did pretty good on Ezreal. Against the Imperium Aces, we beat them pretty handily. Once again, Pharik, another deathless game. Flux was the carry this time at 6-3 and 5, despite Polio's 402 Master Yi. Then we hit a skid, losing to middle team in Quantum. It was just Spectu, Atlas, and Devonda were possible. Yeah, just their entire team was impossible to stop in that game. And then we got beaten against Crystal. Dark Art, a former backup AD carry, showed up for sure, and Joker Jack, so 5-1-4 in the top lane. Before we ended up taking down Imperium Aces, where we stopped. Blue Penguin 11-2 and 10 on Ziggs. Flex with the top lane Nautilus, because that's pretty normal. But yeah, here are the power rankings, just to see where everyone stands. Quantum is your number 1, and is tied for the number 1 spot with us. So, Primal slipping a little bit, but certainly still there. If we go look at our opponents for these next 2 games, Paladin sits at 8 and 5. It looks like Scan is having a potentially MVP style season. And yeah, I'm not surprised that that's what's going on with Paladin. So let's see if we can get the win here. I almost ended the recording, excuse me. We lose to Paladin, as Blue Penguin 0-4 and 4. Scan didn't actually go off. It was Juso on Lucian, who absolutely dominated with a Blitzcrank into an Ashe. Yeah, no, not fun. And that leaves us at 9 and 5 with Quantum and Primal ahead of us. Crimson Moon also sits at 8 and 5, with Jay having one of the best seasons. I think he's going to win MVP at 7 KDA on an 8 and 5 team. Cedric J. Carlos is having undoubtedly the best year of his career. Holy cow. Yeah, IrelevusQ and Arkin are doing pretty good. Certainly not doing terrible. Yeah, we gotta contain Jay if we want to win in this game. And we do win, but did we contain Jay at all? Yes, 2-5 and 5 on Wukong. Flux got a lot of kills on Maokai, and that's not fun for anyone. So we are 2-0 against IrelevusQ and Arkin on the season. That's really good. Let's see. Let's go ahead. I'm going to sim out to the last 3 games and see if there's anything worthwhile to watch. If not, we're just going to go straight into the playoffs. So it looks like the end of this season will matter, as SI sits 12 and 7, second place in the league, tied with Quantum, just behind the defending champions Primal. As yeah, we need to see how these next 3 games go, because we could still potentially miss the playoffs. I mean, Crimson Moon is only 2 games behind us. So, we could very well still miss. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it has a high probability of happening. But yeah, the last 4 games, we lost to Jade Crown pretty hard. Because Blue Penguin did not have a good game against Autumnal. We bounced back with a couple good victories against the 207 Shock. Plux had 17 kills on Poppy. Oh my gosh. In Jade Crown Gaming, if you could get the win. Plux just took over those last 2 games. We unfortunately could not beat the Silver Dragons. Plux did not have a good game. It only got 1 kill on Poppy. But, yeah. Fable on the Jin. Excuse me. Fable on the Jin crushed us alongside Scenes of Colic. Here are our finances, as we are in the negative in cash, but it doesn't really matter. Here are our last 3 games. One that, they're all 3 important, but Aether Wolves is not going to go to the playoffs. We're at 7-12. Then we'll have to take on the number 1 team, Primal, and the team we're tied with right now in Quantum. So, yeah, kind of important. So, let's go ahead and sim this first game against Aether Wolves. We lose. That is monumental, and not in a good way. As, yeah, we just could not get going in the bot lane with Vayne and Vel'Koz, and it did not work. Here's where we stand now, 12-8. Crimson Moon might miss, which is gonna suck, but yeah, I think if Crimson Moon loses, I think we're locked in. But yeah, right now Primal is kind of taking over that first place spot. We do face them next, obviously. So let's go ahead and sim that game. We take down the number 1 team in the league. As despite Skydo's Caitlyn, we just really carried once again through Plux and Blue Penguin. And now we stand in 2nd place. So you see how much a win and a loss can help determine, you know, what happens. If we win and Primal lose, we could definitely be 1st place. Silver Dragons could also be 1st place. They've won 7 in a row. And, yeah. Let's see how this last game goes. It's against Quantum, correct? Yes, against 13-8 Quantum. So, Spectu is having that season. By the way, Jay, the second I pointed him out, yeah, he started going back down the rankings, but Spectu's having an amazing year, and he will probably win MVP. But yeah, basically, winner of this match keeps their hopes at 1st place alive. The loser is definitely not top 2. That's all I know. As we lose. And we end up finishing 4th. Silver Dragons, with their 8th straight victory, do end up taking 1st place. Primal sits in 2nd. Quantum at 14-8 will be awarded 3rd. We get 4th. Paladin is 5th. And Jade Crown gets the spot over Crimson Moon. So unfortunately, Pharik fell short of my expectations of winning MVP, but hey, I set the bar a little high, don't you think? And Plux was a team leader in KDA at 4.5. Also, I'm just now realizing this is a really important year. Blue Penguin, Tarun, and Plux are all hitting free agency if Blue Penguin and Plux don't retire. And yeah, this could be a really key playoff for us, because if we don't win, who knows, you know, how good we're going to be coming up into next season. As we get Paladin to start off this playoff with Redkoi, Skelter, Scan, Juso, and Antifang. Against Paladin this season, we were 1-1, correct? Because we beat him once and then lost, right? Yeah. The first meeting, obviously we've won. Already covered it. With Blue Penguin, Pharik having a great game of Misfortune. The second game, we did end up losing. It was Juso's Lucian that absolutely wrecked us. So, the bot lane is going to be very key here. For Damien Agra, This is his second year with a 4.2 KDA, so he's done worse, but you know, he still did pretty good. And obviously for Pharik, this is his rookie season, so we have no data to go on. The other playoff matchup is number 3 Quantum, number 6 Jade Crown. So let's see if we can win. So we do end up taking game 1. Blue Penguin did great on Morgana, Flex had a good carry on Trundle. Pharik, a lot of assists on Jinx, despite Juso's Draven. It seems like we won the game pretty handily. Game 2 is a loss, 6-9 in turrets, but that doesn't really tell you anything when this is the scoreline. Oh my gosh. 3 players, at least 6 kills, and no deaths on Red Koi, Scan, and Juso. And yeah, that was not a good game 2 for absolute certain. Game 3 is also a loss. Although we got more kills this time, still did not work at all. Quantum did sweep Jade Crown, by the way. As we enter game 4 against Paladin, can we survive? We can, as we win game 4, 9-4. Blue Penguin carried on Corki. Pharik's Lucian did pretty good. And now we end up in game 5 between us and Paladin. Also, fun fact, the last time we played Paladin in the playoffs was 2026, when we lost the finals. We were the number 1 seed and they were the number 6 seed. But anyway, let's get back to our season for this game 5. Can we take down Paladin? Can we take down Scan? Can we advance to the semifinals, or will Paladin beat us once again? We win, and we advance. We did it! Blue Penguin on Fizz, Tarun on Udyr, and Plux on his Poppy is amazing. As we took down the Echo from Scan, and we advance to the semifinals to take on the number 1 seeded Silver Dragons. Silver Dragons this year went all around building Maven, Mercer, Sachi, as he had a pretty decently good rookie year, but this year he actually was worse. But everyone around him, JC Bandit Jackson, SIG's former top laner, was in there, and he did really good, 4.2 KDA. Reggie Scene Jones, the mid laner for Crystal for the last 5 years, joined Silver Dragon. Shakaris Moody, Fable, joined Aetherwolves, or former Aetherwolves AD carry joined, and Michael Dave Davidson, Crimson Moon Esports support, is also there. So yeah, that is what Silver Dragon's roster looks like. Obviously they won 8 in a row to get to this point. And against Silver Dragons this season, we are one of their few losses, as we did beat them early in the season with just an absolute stomp of a game. But we were also a victim of their streak, although it was a pretty close game, I would like to feel, despite the kills and everything. 6-8 in turrets, it was pretty good. But who was the last team to beat the Silver Dragons? That would be the 207 Shock. We beat them 6-8. And Marble met Fable. That's funny. Alrighty. Let's see if we can take down the Silver Dragons. So we do get the first win on Silver Dragons as the 207 Shock in the regular season by taking them down in Game 1, 8-5. It was Blue Penguins carrying, as well as Pharik's supportive Ashe that worked out really well. We managed to take down Scene's Rise. As in Game 2, we also get the win with a more dominating performance, this time from Pharik, as he goes 7-2-10. Scene is doing really well this series, he's just not getting his team to the win. Bandit as well had a good second game. So there's some hope for SIG, but they're down 2-0, or not SIG, Silver Dragons, but they're down 2-0. Can they come back, or can we sweep them? We sweep the Silver Dragons. Let's go. Mercer went 0-4, and just absolutely dominating game. The only person to die was Blue Penguin, and we have swept aside the Silver Dragons, heading into the finals against Quantum. This is the moment of truth, to say the least. We face Quantum with most likely an MVP in Guo Lim Spec 2, as he's having his best year by far. The veteran top laner Nelray, who's been playing for a while. They also have, one of the better prospects back in 2026, now turned into a really good mid laner, Deontay Atlas Tyler. The newest AD carry was actually former Silver Dragon's backup, Bonsu Kara, as he had a pretty good rookie season, and Vishal Mehmet Gil Caesar was finally cemented as the starter for Quantum as their support. Quantum's actually been really successful. Well, they were successful early. Back-to-back league championships in the first 2 seasons of this new simulation back whenever we started. But yeah, they've been struggling. They've still, persevered through it, and Quantum has certainly earned this shot at this title. For us, for SIG, obviously, we kind of struggled at the start. Had some up years and some down years. We've made playoffs the last 5 years now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can't count. 5 years, and we've made it to at least the second round every year beyond that. The last time we were in the finals, I know we lost. We lost to Crimson Moon. Last time Quantum were in the finals, they lost to the 207 Shock. So, can Quantum win their 3rd championship, becoming the winningest team of all time, as they're currently in a tie with Paladin, the 207 Shock, Crystal, and Crimson Moon at 2? Or can we put our names into that list that have won a championship? There's only been 2 teams that haven't, us and Excalibur. So let's see if we can win this series. We do end up losing game 1 as just completely outmatched in all sections of the game. Here, just nothing good came out of that. We bounce back in game 2 is the question. We do. So we do win game 2 as, Plux 10, 2, and 8. This time on Mordekaiser, not on Poppy. But yeah, so 2 dominating games from both teams. Who's going to break the edge in this series? Quantum does, as they get a dominating performance from Devonda and Nelray, and they are 1 game away from the finals. Can we salvage it and avoid another finals loss? We cannot, as Quantum ends up taking us down in 4 games. Devondra went 0-4 on Lucian, but Atlas Rise secures the finals. As you see, Plux, he gave it his best effort, but he could not win, as the season is over. So that's how it ends. Your finals MVP is Bonsu Devondra Kara. Your MVP, Guo Spec 2 Lim. All league teams. First team, Spec 2, Skydo, Mehmet, Mojo, and Fluffy. Second team, Oxide, IrelevusQ, Arkin, Antifang, and Devondra. And then third team, Beyonder, Nelray, Atlas, Fable, and Plux. Retirements. Doll has finally retired at age 35 from the Silver Dragons. Also, Nelray is gone. Demon is in the Hall of Fame now. Hosien, Sylvain, Mehmet retires. So does Dave. Volt surprisingly retires at 22. Other than that, it looks like we're good. The only other award I think I have to check before we go into leaders is your Rookie of the Year, which is, surprise, surprise, it is Armin Pharik Gunn Jr. So here are your league leaders. Oxide led the league in kills, or at least he was tied with Plux. Arkin, a year after leaving us, ended up leading the league in assists. Skydo led the league in CS, and Spec2, obviously winning MVP, led the league in KDA. So with the year in review, I just think something has to change. Like, I think we made a lot of good progress, but at the same time, we've kind of been here for, you know, the last 5 years. I mean, we changed out IrelevusQ, and we got back to the finals. I don't really think we should release Tarun because he's the best player, you know, on the team. And Flux obviously had a great year, so I don't think I would want to release him either. Which kind of just leaves Blue Penguin, who definitely had his moments. Not only in the series, but, you know, with us obviously winning MVP in 2026. No, he didn't win it. That was Nether Rose. But anyway, yeah, like just doing pretty well, but we kind of need better. We'll look at it. Here are the free agents, obviously Tarun, Flux, Blue Penguin, and Luxylux. The upcoming free agents include Skydo as your number 1, but beyond that, nothing really much. Yuso, Rose, Bulldog, I mean, there is not really much at all. So as I said, we're going to re-sign Tarun. I just don't think any questions about that for a year deal. I'm only going to re-sign Flux to a 1-year contract, because I'm just not entirely sure how he's going to go. After looking at it, despite the fact Blue Penguin is going to be the best mid laner out there, I still feel like we have to make a change. There's plenty of mid laners you can take a chance on. Lone Hero, Bulldog, I guess even Leon if you really feel like it. The only issue with this would be the draft class, or well, the prospect class, I guess. There is not really a solid, really good mid laner. There's like plenty of, you know, middle tier mid laners, guys who have like 80, 89 potential. There isn't like a superstar 90 overall, or 90 potential mid laner, I should say, that we can take. So, let's go ahead and see how free agency ends up. So, Skydo did end hitting up free agency alongside Pharik, who is a veteran mid laner. Also Rose, Maliburo, Ice Baron, Mojo, Tima even hit free agency. But yeah, what we need is, well, roster, a mid laner and a 80 carry backup Pharik. So, let's go find that. In the mid lane, we're going to sign Rayshawn Sharky Bach to a 2-year contract. And at 80 carry, we're going to sign Kelvin Mayer Lienhardt to a 3-year contract. So that is our roster. We'll see between Sharky and Kerbulon who ends up being the starter in the mid lane, but I'm going to roll with pretty much what we have. Now we just need to see where Skydo, Blue Penguin, and all these other people end up. So we'll see you in the preseason. So here is the result of free agency. Roman AMP Jones is your best player, your best rookie. Trey Harvest Holm. Before we look at SIG, let's go look around the league as usual. Your defending champions Quantum signed something that I never thought I'd see, and I've played a lot of this game. I've been trying to get good supports on my own, like my own simulations that are not this series for a while, and I've never gotten it. But Bernie Hugo Hawkins is probably the best support I've ever seen in this game, and certainly the best support we've ever seen. But other than that, they promote Ice Baron to the top lane. It will be Spec2, Atlas, and Devandra still leading the charge. We're all wondering where Blue Penguin ended up. He ended up on Crimson Moon alongside IrelevusQ and Arkin, so Crimson Moon is just reconstructing our team from a couple years ago. They still have Jay, they still have Ina-chan starting. in the jungle, but it's Blue Penguin, IrelevusQ, Arkin, Yinchan, and Jay for Crimson Moon. So it's going to be even more exciting. Notable rookie signing: the Aetherwolves signed Gene Castor Morelevus. He will be alongside Akka, the newly signed Bulldog, although he re-signed his team, I should say. New starting AD carry Packer, and starting support Husla. And I think the last team I need to check... Actually, there's two teams. Excalibur, who just signed 903 in the jungle, but also, most importantly, signed Sammy Valens. Skydo has chosen a new team. And yes, when I did go through and sim the entire thing, he did re-sign with Primal. I don't like that, so I went ahead and just released him from the team again. Now he's on here. His finances don't matter, so they can lose all they want. But Posh now has a really good AD carry, so yeah, we'll see how he does. The last team I wanted to check out was Primal Gaming, because they signed Harrison Rose Kennedy, to replace Skydo. They also ended up signing Carrick and Kusiyama, who got released from Imperium Aces this season. So yeah, now we can look at SIG as we look like this. It will be Kerburon who takes over in the mid lane. Still have Pharik, Falsoy, Tarun, and Flux, although I think we found Flux's replacement in Aldonis Sam, otherwise known as Crow. So it'll depend a lot whether we keep Flux this season. He's certainly been one of our better players ever since he joined us in 2028. So we'll see how the next season goes next time. But my name is Alzion the Great. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.